Well, okay. How about now? Better. So I did a lot of more programming on the session and the set list. Let me try to share that. So I've been using the session set list, but I haven't been able to share the window on the stream. What happened was the stream was going slow, the FPS on the program, and I forgot I had the wrong setting. I'm using a Mac and I had it on the dynamic refresh rate to save battery, and I need it on the static 60 FPS. 60 refresh rate, monitor, whatever. So that's what was off up until like, I think it was the song Blue Sky where I noticed it. And so at that time I stopped sharing the window. So let me reshare it. There's still, of course, work in progress. I bumped up the software version. Let's see. See, it's kind of glitchy right here. I did something where there's like a side effect I'm trying to catch. But the main thing I changed was I didn't go in and manually create the session. It created it for me because it found that there's not one active for today. So I created one in progress, set the session number. And then when I played it, it also created the set list and it tied the songs to the set list with the session. and all I did was just play. I didn't have to create the set list or create the session. I just played it and it created it, the sessions and set list, and it tied it together. That was the main change I've been working on. And it took quite a lot to do that. And because I now am logging the session number inside of the note log JSON file that is output every time I play a song. So I plug the guitar and I play a song. Logs the output saying things like accuracy and whatever else. Every note information. We could even see that. If I click Hideaway, Freddie King, I could do view notes, and these are all the notes for this song. Play ID, note ID. There's more. Hit time. So that's when this is the viewing the database information that has been uploaded from the JSON collection of JSON files. So one thing I added in the collection of JSON files that are generated, this is the database side that I'm reviewing right now. But now I'm saving the session number in the note logs. So that way, because I also do lots of database dropping. Like this is an alpha, right? So I'm like always changing data around. So like this is my database update GUI. I just check off what, which ones I want. Like, and I have a destroy table option. Destroy table or not. So it's green if it's selected, it's red if it's not. So this is a part of the screen that also synchronizes with the server. So when a user runs this program, they're given, they have to log in to a server, connects to a database, SSH, of course. Encrypted passwords, I don't even have the passwords. It's I can't even tell you without looking it up, but it's a database, Flask, Python. This program connects to that server through a login, and once you log in once, you can just save your login, so you don't have to log in every time you start the program. But when you log in, you have this screen to synchronize your files between the server and the client, and there's manifest files between the client and server, which are manifest says these are the files in these directories. It was last modified this time. Here's a checksum of the contents. So it compares the server and the client. Checksum's different than which one's most recent than the uploads or downloads, and overwrites, which the older one with the newer one. So because I have multiple devices that I'm using this software with, I just synchronize the files, upload, download. And I've been testing a lot, in particular this test folder I put in the E-standard tuning. All sort of test things to test every feature of the program, right? Like slides, sustains, chords, 2-note chords, 3-note chords, hammer-on pull off, harmonic, bends, palm mutes, ghosts, hammer-on pull off, whatever else. And especially like this ghost test is only 8 seconds long. Just testing like 2 notes, but the second note is a ghost. So it just looks like one because you're just extending the duration. It's a ghost test. You have to see the guitar profile file. These are all guitar profile files that are open. And so the other thing I like with the session set list thing is like I just go to, so I tracked all the songs I played in the order and logged all the details of them in this nice fancy view, so I could view it. And then I could just go to like generate track list. I actually accidentally put this 447, but it's actually 446. So I hit generate track list, please enter session number. Okay, 446. And then this generates the track list for me, so I don't have to do it myself anymore. I don't have to type out the track list. I just play it, it logs it. So for example, session number 446, number 1, Freddie King, Hideaway lead, accuracy 66, average tempo 85. So this takes away, I don't know, minutes of delay during recording. Just don't have to worry about it. Just stop and play, record. But this menu has been bugging out. The flow of when the song stops. Here, let's see. This is what I usually do. I go into settings. I do debug no hit true, which is saying it's going to do 100% accuracy. It's going to say every note's been hit because I have a requirement to save the note log file that require 30% accuracy or more. So this will give me 100% accuracy. The currently I have the note hit as defined as the finish line down here, this line on the bottom. If the finish line is a color other than the white, then that means a note hit has been detected. So that's my current note hit methodology, is just coloring the finish line to the color of the note. If it's a chord, it colors it to one of the notes. So you see this is 3-note chord. There's red, yellow, blue, 6th string, 5th string, 4th string on the, so you have the 6th string on the 5th fret, the 5th and 4th string on the 7th fret. And you can just tell by the little shades of blue on the left and right side. That's how I configured it at the moment anyway. Could do more tweaking to make it more, the blue more apparent in the yellow. But overall, it's like, I know what that is. I could see the blue and the yellow. I know it's a power chord. So when the chord goes to the finish line, that's like note hit detection eligible for this note. And it's in a, see, this is considered early. I define an early note window and a late note window to be the same time, distance. So this is allowing myself to be early. So in the note hit detection, I say just detect it whenever it's possible. So we're going to generate a note log because it's going to say I generated 100% accuracy. You could cheat your bets this way right now. If I have note hit detection on a test song and it asks to bet in chat, that's 100% accuracy. That's another thing. I have a Twitch bot going on you could bet, and that's another database you could bet points. All in Python. I'm hosting the database and API locally through this program with the chatbot. I'd have to run dbeaver to show the content. But if we go back, so what happens is when the song stops, I have a setting that says view the stats directly after the song stops. I have as true right now. So that took us here. This is the current stats screen. It's on the very right of the screen. It's current score. Analyzes it between the two previous playthroughs. We have different visual graphs. So while that is off, actually no, that's not off. What happened is there's only 8 notes, but what happened, there's a bonus of different effects. One is a streak, although I hit 8, I didn't get the streak yet. And the other is by note length. 100% accuracy. Well, these graphs aren't that great when you see 100%, but it's functional. Of course, every note is on time. When I go to the open screen, go back, it doesn't save the song I was on. Resets to the default. But oh yeah, what I've been working on too is that, and this is bugged out. Whoa, that is bugged out. I may have to restart. Managing the same window across different flows of closing and reopening. It's a lot to track. So the thing I was working on too was the suggest songs. So that's what I used here in this session. We're going to see suggest. And this is So you hit the suggest song button. This is the modify set list screen, or you could do it in the create set list screen. And what happens is you get these user preferences for, well, what tuning do you want to suggest for the songs, first of all. And then on top of that, what arrangements do you want? And so in this case, it defaults to whatever tuning and arrangement that you have selected. So in this case, I already have lead selected and E standard, like in the current song that I have chosen. That's how it goes by. And what else is the number of songs to choose? Up to 10, 1 to 10. And then the scoring options. Arrangement, play counts, a score, accuracy, tempo. And by default, the date is included, the last time you played it. And I was going to do another option, either or, two options. Option 1, needs improvement. Option 2, already mastered. But I didn't really see a difference between the results when flickering between them because there's 4 variables, up to 4 variables you could go on. Arrangement, play count, score, accuracy, tempo. And the scores currently are graded independently. So you add 1 score for this based on, for arrangement play counts, it says how many times this current lead arrangement has been played to other rhythm and alt lead arrangements of the same song, if applicable. So if the lead has been played less than the rhythm and or the alt lead, it's going to give plus score to this particular. So it goes through each song, right? Because this is all the list of songs in one giant list. And then this suggest songs filters it down. So because this list doesn't differentiate between tunings at the moment or arrangements, you can see all tunings here currently and all arrangements. This is like a alternate flow. You know, it's a set list. So like 2 different flows. You could have the set list and predefine the songs and say, I want to play these next 10 songs. Or you could just go in and choose the songs dynamically as you play, and the set list will update accordingly. Either way, the set list for me and the session is for me because every time I play guitar, I record it. So this helps in tracking the songs, the set list, and I listen back to all of it. So that's why it's useful to me to track everything. So I can see the time and the date, every note, every hit and miss of the note, the frequency defined of the notes of the. Well, right now, that's another story, is the, if we go, it's not this screen. Well, anyways, let's just go back to the suggest. So let's suggest 3 songs with all scoring options checked. It's going to say Mountain Jam. Man, it suggested Hideaway even though I already played it. I tried telling it not to suggest songs already there, but oh well. So first song to suggest is Mountain Jam. It's played more often in the current selected arrangement, yeah. Lead is the only arrangement played 9 times, okay. What else? It's actually easier to read against the brighter background. Still tiny text to read. It's a bit, I gotta make it more useful. And I don't like this icon. This default icon shouldn't be here. It should be the program icon. This is the default icon for Python. Okay, so last played 4 days ago, recently practiced. Total score ratio indicates a significant room for improvement. Max score 7,878. Average score 1,152. Low accuracy in recent playthroughs needs improvement. Average accuracy 66%. Tempo is moderately close to the default tempo. Default tempo is 115 and the average is 130. So there's a 12% difference. And Hideaway, oh yeah, so what happened was regarding this flow, suggest songs, it made me update the backend database. So what happened was this suggest songs functionality relies on querying database content, which at the first draft of this program, or a couple of versions ago, a couple of versions ago with this suggest songs implementation, I only had the database updated when the user manually goes to that synchronization screen and toggles which table to update. But this suggest songs feature made me realize that I have to add more database synchronization. Every time I stop the song, it's gonna upload the database content based on the JSON output. So that means when I come back to this particular suggest song screen, it's going to be accurate to the most recent data without the user having to manually update the database. And I also had to update the database content when the user updates the tempo with the dynamic tempo screen. So what happens is when you play the song, it generates output of a JSON file. The dynamic tempo uses this JSON file of the previous playthroughs, alters the tempo per measure basis on user configuration. So if the tempo, I could show that later, but the tempo's profiles, like you have a default tempo, a dynamic tempo, a profile type of tempo, and they're all like saved in JSON. And then the change that I made to that also recently was adding the arrangement name to that JSON output. So now each arrangement can have its own tempo settings. And there's a setting to calculate the tempo dynamically for all arrangements. So that way there's a multi-track compatible where the lead and the rhythm are the same tempo or they're different for singular arrangement playthrough. Anyways, I'm going to remove Hideaway. It says I'm going to play the interpol one first. So let's remove Hideaway, play interpol, play next. Yes. And this is glitched where it's like strange looking song creator GUI. Okay. I gotta redo it. I forgot to delete. I forgot to turn off the debug. Hold on. I'm gonna delete the file. Hold on. No, that actually it's in the database. Well, now the results are rigged. That's unfortunate. I'm not gonna fix it now. I'll just replay it. I could fix it if it was just a JSON, but I already synchronized with the database, so I had to remove the entry. But what I could do is I could. Oh, it's great. That's glitched. That shouldn't happen. Settings. The set list screen should not be here. So let's restart. You know, I try to find these bugs off a stream, but there's certain flows that I don't access on off stream. But I gotta fix those menus. But let's go back to interval. I think it was that one, right? And then I go turn off the debug so I don't get 100% accuracy unless I earn it. GG.